This review was written before the release of No Straight Road's Encore Edition. However, the background footage used is from the Encore Edition, so some visual differences may occur. Please enjoy the video. No Straight Roads is a game that slipped under many people's radar, including my own, and after finally sinking some time into it, it just pains me to see that barely anyone is talking about just how great it is. So many people have missed out on this wonderful game, and hopefully with this video, I can convince you to try it for yourself. Allow me to briefly tell you about how I came across No Straight Roads and what finally gave me the push to pursue playing it. I remember seeing a few trailers here and there during online gaming events, and it failed to entice me any further than thinking, oh, this looks alright. Safe to say it wasn't enough to grasp my attention. That is, until the power of the YouTube algorithm kicked in and recommended something to me, as well as many others judging by that view count. This one single video was the driving factor into experiencing this game. If you have seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm a big fan of video game music, and this song is incredibly catchy. I just had to look into its origins, and that was the game No Straight Roads. That very same game that left me feeling indifferent during its reveal trailers. All of a sudden, I decided to put aside any doubts I had about No Straight Roads, and I decided to pick it up and give it a fair try. The price had dropped significantly from launch at this point, so I didn't have much to lose, and now here I am presenting a video about just how much it captivated me. So with all that out of the way, it's time to into my review of No Straight Roads. I'll start with a brief summary of the story. The game begins with the protagonists Mayday and Zook, members of the band Bunk Bed Junction, trying out for an audition to become the next member of the NSR. The NSR is an organisation that provides Vinyl City with power generated from musical energy, and they need a new artist to help maintain those energy levels. Think Monsters Inc., but instead of energy created by the piercing screams of children, it's created with sweet EDM beats instead. Bunk Bed Junction performs for the NSR, which functions as the game's tutorial. They prove they can provide an insane amount of energy through the power of rock, which the artists of NSR promptly reject for reasons that become clear toward the end of the game. The head of the NSR puts a ban on rock music and keeps the backup energy for themselves in the event of an outage, which fuels the motivations of our protagonists. Not content with being rejected, hot-headed Mayday ropes in her chill bandmate Zook and vows to take down the NSR, as well as give Vinyl City the power of rock it so deserves. With that, our quest begins to fight our way through the artists that make up the NSR and start a music revolution. As you may have noticed by now, the game has a vibrant and colourful art style which is always a joy to look at. The character models have a stylistic blocky design which can be seen in many of the characters' hands. The 2D character portraits and vinyl album art are beautifully drawn in great detail, and this all stands out to me as a fan of cartoonistic games and TV shows, and really helps to reinforce the game's personality. Moving on to the gameplay of No Straight Roads, I would primarily describe it as a rhythm-based boss rush game, with a sprinkle of platforming here and there. You have the ability to switch between both Mayday and Zook throughout the course of the game, with each of them offering a slightly different style of combat, Mayday being the hard hitter, and Zook being more combo focused. You can unlock unique skills as you beat bosses and earn fans throughout the game, allowing you to invest in skill trees for each member of Bunk Bed Junction. Once you finish the tutorial, you are thrown straight into your first boss fight, giving you a taste of the core gameplay. The fights are broken up into phases which alter both the background music and the attack patterns after a certain amount of damage is dealt to the boss. Each of the NSR artists engage in combat following a choreographed set of attacks in time with their unique boss music, allowing you to study patterns and look out for openings. As well as being able to attack during openings, you can attempt to parry attacks during the fight which will appear in purple. If you can time your attack with the music, you will land a parry, dealing extra damage to the boss, so it's just as beneficial to focus on the music to make the most of your opportunities. Upon defeating an artist, you are graded on 4 categories: time taken, damage received, highest combo, and parry score. You can see how well you did in each of these categories with visual representation showing you which areas you excelled in, as well as the areas that you didn't. These culminate together to give you an overall rank, which is where the replayability comes in if you choose to better your performance. As you progress, unlocking perks and earning skills, you can challenge your choreography knowledge of each fight and perform better with each attempt. Each fight also has different difficulty levels, throwing in more time-based attacks as well as parry-only modes, and for the most dedicated of players, a perfect parry mode, truly testing your knowledge of the fight. The game also features an expansive hub world, which unlocks in tandem with your progress in defeating the artists. Each of the artists holds a district within Vinyl City, and with every victory you are able to travel to the next district. Vinyl City is so full of personality. Every section is illuminated beautifully, and you can really see how much detail was put into making everything pop with both life and colour. Each time you return to the main hub, the electronic billboards and signs are plastered with montages of your current target artists, giving you an insight into what you're going up against and the characteristics of them, which is a great detail, further adding to Vinyl City's already bustling personality. You are able to utilise Quasar energy, which acts as a collectible within the hub world, to power up parts of the city and gain fans, as well as collect stickers, which act as limited time stat boosts, usually lasting for one boss encounter, which you can apply to Mayday and Zook's guitar and drumsticks respectively. It's a pain to have to return to the hub once you've used the stickers up to seek out the stickers that you want to use when going for higher ranks, but that's a minor inconvenience, as running around the city is a joy and they aren't difficult to come across. Now, while I have mostly been singing No Straight Road's praises, it's not without its faults. Before each fight, aside from the first and last, each of the remaining NSR artists have a level of protection before you can fight them. This comes in the form of an approach. You make your way through up to 9 small platforms fighting off similar enemy types while occasionally platforming, which feels a little stiff. It simply comes off as fluff to pad out the game's length. You aren't graded on your performance here, and you don't gain any fans. I never felt compelled to give them another try outside of the initial mandatory time, unlike with the boss fights, which I always wanted to jump straight back into to try again for a better rank. The only real positive I can draw from these encounters is the background music, which, like the entirety of No Straight Road's soundtrack, is incredible. The background music features a unique composition for each artist and incorporates musical motifs from the upcoming boss's track, and as you pass through each gated platform, a near perfectly timed transition plays, which increasingly amps up the music's energy seamlessly. By the time you reach the final gate before you fight the boss, your ears are treated to an incredible piece of high energy music contrasting your first moments within the approach, which hypes you up for the upcoming fight. Here, have a listen to a few examples for yourself. Since we're on the topic of music, it's time for me to talk about No Straight Road's biggest asset in my opinion, and the whole reason I bought the game in the first place, and continue to remember it fondly whenever a track from the OST plays. This is no exaggeration from me here. The game's soundtrack appeals to me in every way. Near enough every single track from start to finish is something I can listen to both outside of the game, and something I can enjoy within the game even more. Obviously, like many forms of entertainment, music is subjective, but typically, if you enjoy at least one song from this game, you're bound to enjoy the majority of the soundtrack. And when you pair that with gameplay that works in harmony with what you're hearing, it creates something truly incredible that I have yet to experience in any other game so far. From the moment you're thrown into the hub world, you are treated to one hell of a track with what sounds like it took inspiration from Persona 5 as well as other soundtracks. This same hub world theme has another 2 renditions, each with its own energy and influences, such as Streets of Rage and even Stardust's Music Sounds Better With You, just to name a few. James Landino, Funk Fiction, Andy Tunstall, and Folk O Young did an absolutely phenomenal job on the music in this game, and I thank them for providing such a memorable soundtrack. Each piece of boss music perfectly encapsulates the personality of each artist. The funky beats that belong to DJ Subatomic Supernova, the poppy upbeat Vocaloid inspired music for Sayu, the tranquil piano versus rock for Yinu, the generic and catchy K-pop band music for Tenten, the unique blend of dubstep and rock music that accompanies Eve, the EDM heavy music with rock undertones for Tatiana, and even some character development in the form of Malaysian rapping from DK West and Zook. Each one of the tracks, aside from DK West's, also has an extra rock version, an EDM version, which you can unlock within the game and listen to within the boss fights. Although it doesn't change the attack patterns of the fight, it's still a great option to have. On top of this, each boss also received a Christmas version of their song in a post-launch update, which also gave the environments a Christmas makeover. However, this wasn't released on the Switch version, for what I can only assume is because of performance issues. There are loads of little things that I enjoy about the soundtrack. Much like I mentioned earlier, the sound mixing when breaking through gates which dynamically enhances the music, the way that the sewers, an area which acts as your safe house, adds extra layers of instrumentation to the song when you place trophies of defeated artists. Also, as the fights against the artist draw to a close, the rock vs EDM meter will lean onto the rock side, changing the instrumentation of the fight's final moments, adding a layer of intensity to the fight. I want to draw attention to Sayu's fight in particular. During a phase of the fight, you have the freedom to proceed in a few different orders which will affect the soundtrack by removing or changing parts of the song, which is a really nice detail. At the time this would have been uploaded, an enhanced port dubbed the Encore Edition has been re-released on Steam for the first time after being an Epic exclusive. This version includes new remixes for the boss fights and a plethora of fan art decorating Vinyl City, as well as many other quality of life improvements, such as improved audio and visual cues, stickers not being limited to one-time use, and being able to create loadouts for specific encounters, just to name a few. I have used the Encore Edition for the footage in this video. However, my original playthrough was on the Xbox One, and my review is a reflection of my experience on the base version of the game. Sadly, the Encore Edition is looking to be a Steam exclusive, which is a disappointment for anyone who already owns the game on another platform, especially since it could have simply been a paid upgrade or a free upgrade. Hopefully in the future this will become an option for current and future owners of the game, because it adds some great features. No Straight Roads is a very special game to me, and one that I look on fondly whenever I'm reminded of it. It captured me with its vibrant visuals, a stellar soundtrack, and plenty of enjoyable replayability. I want more people to experience that for themselves. To see what I see in this underappreciated title, and for the studio's first game, Metronomic has set the bar high for their future titles, and their future releases will absolutely be on my radar. Here's hoping for a follow-up game, or at the very least something with the same kind of energy and style which I have no doubt they can deliver. Hopefully my love for No Straight Roads has been conveyed in this video, and I've enticed you to give the game a try for yourself, and experience what it has to offer. If you plan to pick it up sometime, or have played it for yourself, please let me know your thoughts and opinions on the game, and any of your favourite standout moments. If you can also recommend me another game very similar to No Straight Roads that I might enjoy, please do so. I would love to try a similar experience. I hope that you have enjoyed my take on No Straight Roads, and thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing and checking out some of my other videos. Take care.